the things we love most aren't just part of our lives, they shape our lives. For William Billy Stitt, that love was bacon, not just eating it, but understanding it, crafting it, and perfecting it until it became more than food. It became a story, a brand, and a movement. Listeners, welcome to this another lovely and interesting episode of the BizBlend podcast. I'm your host, Sana. And for today's episode, we are going to dive deep into a very, very special journey, turning a teenage hobby into a nationally recognized, music infused brand. It wasn't an overnight success story. It was years of trial, error, patience, and persistence. From finding the right breed of pig to fine tuning a smoking process that could stand the test of time. So, today we are going to explore how Billy transformed obsession into opportunity, flavor into culture, and a southern kitchen dream into a brand that's winning over chefs, food lovers, and storytellers alike. So, Billy, welcome to the show. And I'm really, really pumped up for this conversation.
Thank you, Santa. I'm honored to be here. I always like an opportunity to talk about bacon.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, Billy, let's go to the origin of the obsession here. Um, can you take us back to that moment when making your own bacon, it stopped being just a fun experiment and it became like something you knew you had to share with the world?
Sure. So I left the corporate world about 13 years ago and opened my own restaurant. Uh, and then kind of behind the scenes, I was making my own bacon for my catering and for my restaurant, and I was practicing my recipes to try to get it to where I could, you know, use it here. So I would say about 9 years ago,
Mhm.
people were they were like knocking on my door and calling me saying, "Hey, we really like your bacon. Can we use it in a contest? Can we use it in our
Oh,
restaurant?" And then even some were like saying, "We'd like to use it in our hotel." And I was
wow.
like, "Oh my goodness." And I knew I had to get USDA certified.
Yeah.
And and somebody told me that was too hard. I wouldn't be able to do it. And that was when it clicked. And I was like, you know what? No one's gonna tell me I can't do something, and, so right at about 9 years ago, I went for it.
Wow. That must be like a holy smokes moment for you when
It
everybody came walking down to you. Yeah. We want your bacon. Yeah.
it literally was a holy smokes message, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is more much more inspiring because so many people have hobbies they're passionate about, but then very few turn them into a living, a breathing business. So, but of course, there's definitely a hard grind, behind the flavor, that that essence, that soul of the food you are, the creation. So you spent over 3 years perfecting your curing and smoking process. Um, what did that trial and error phase look like for you? I mean, what did it teach you about patience and persistence?
Well, it taught me a lot. Of course, I had the restaurant going, and I would come in early or I would stay late, and I would dedicate that time to my my R&D, testing different, smoke methods and curing methods and, chilling and slicing methods till I kinda landed, but I knew that if I was really gonna make this a company, I had to be able to I was doing it all on my own in the beginning, but I knew if I was gonna make this a true company, I had to be able to get my product I had to have it made by a team, and,
Mm.
that's when it really, really clicked when I started bringing people on and I was treating them just as I would a restaurant line cook, and I would say, "Listen, um, here's how to do it. Here's my steps, my processes. Um, just ensure to me that you won't change anything. If you have a good idea or you have something to add, that's fine, but let's discuss that and let's run a separate trial batch, but never deviate from the spec or the recipe.
It's like a secret recipe in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, and uh, were there points um when you thought about walking away from the idea entirely or not?
Yeah, there's been several,
Yeah.
several and, you know, space issues,
Mm.
building constraints, we had 2 hurricanes hit us one year, and I had
Okay.
18 trees fall on the buildings,
Oh.
and I just felt like I couldn't get it going again, but my team was so inspirational, and they kept coming to work, and then, another one was COVID. COVID, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is gonna be the end of us," and but my team wanted to keep working, and then what we realized that that actually was a huge inspiration for the company because everybody was at home and ordering stuff
Mhm.
online, so our business spiked, and we captured new guests, and but those were moments where it was really hard to get out of bed in the morning and really hard to sleep at night with my mind racing on, "Is this something I'm gonna be able to survive?"
Hmm. Yeah, I can relate with that. And food, I think food industry is such a competitive industry, such a competitive industry. And the role of technology, because as you mentioned about COVID, um uh, uh, I mean, it had to look like, you had to do a complete overhaul, uh new technology, the you know modulating the processes accordingly. So I think the role of team, I mean, it's really, really, I really appreciate that, you are really giving that credit to your team, because even in initial stages of any startup or any company, it's such an essential part of building a business, and, having that longevity and sustainability. So that is really, really inspiring, Billy.
Thank you. It's definitely been a wild ride. Just trying to keep up on a daily basis and to figure out our next steps so we can scale this company to where it needs to be.
Hmm. And another good part of your brand is, it's not only just bacon. There's music, there's of course storytelling, and then there's a sun charm in there. Why was it important for you to weave those cultural elements into your business? Was it to like achieve or like, kind of differentiate yourself, your brand in the market, or was it right from the point where you kind of thought about, converting your passion, your hobby into a business?
Well, the music was kind of a happy accident. So I've been in the restaurant business my whole life, and
Yeah.
I love what I do, and it didn't matter what was going on. I enjoyed going to work in the morning, and I loved greeting the line cooks that opened up in the morning and the front of the house
Mhm.
team with the, like today's Wednesday, and I'd say happy Wednesday, and I just kind of had a lot of energy, and I was it, I liked and I still like leading people and giving them enough direction where they can grow. Um, so the music kind of happened. I was testing and making my bacon back in my little catering kitchen, which happened to be right behind our live music stage. And so I'm in there working, and I'm listening to these wonderful singers kind of come and go. And as they would set up their mics, I'm like right behind the wall. And,
Mhm.
and then they would start singing, and I was like, "This bacon gets serenaded," and I was like, "Wow," and serenaded by songwriters, and, so that's where the serenaded by songwriters, savored by carnivores kinda came to be.
Wow. Wow. And do you think, like, this is more from a business perspective? Do you think a product can survive without this emotional and cultural connection, or does it add, or it's just like a flavor added?
It adds joy to my team members. One of my team leaders is is kind of a audio, video, sound kind of guy. He repairs guitars and things like that. So he loves great music. And music conversations are a great way to get to know people because music brings people together, regardless of their background, their culture, their or even their language. I think music can bring people together. And yeah, the music is a huge part of the bacon process, and it's also a part of the flavor because it brings so much joy to the team while it's being made. And even my team members in the restaurant, when they're selling the bacon on top of something or as an ingredient or selling it by the pound, they get that
Mhm.
music in the background brings joy. And I think joy brings flavor.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Um, and then do you think your brand would be different if um I mean it would have been the same if it had been born outside the South?
Well, that's debatable.
Mhm.
The South is deeply ingrained in my roots. I mean, my father grew up in the Mississippi Delta. My mother was raised in Arkansas. Um,
Mhm.
I've I've traveled outside of the South many, many times, but the South is it's hard to explain. It's a culture. It gets a bad rap a lot of times until
Mhm.
somebody visits it. But once they come here and they meet the people and they hear the stories and they listen to the music and they taste the food, they
Mhm.
see and they feel. So the South is a feeling. I don't think I would have been hasn't as inspired to chase my dreams. Though I didn't grow up in a small Mississippi Delta town, and I
Mhm.
and I didn't really push the barriers and borders of opportunities in my career field. I knew that if I wanted to grow and do what I love and create my dreams, I had to really push the envelope and I had to ask. I had to not just say, I never had to settle for someone telling me, you can't do that. So yeah, I think the South is a huge part of my brand.
And that's where the distinction is, and even if you're going like national or maybe, uh, international as well. I think that flavor of South, that uh, it bacon being part of the welcome, like on the table at family reunions or church potlucks or late night kitchen talks. I think it is definitely going to give that identity to it.
Yes, I agree. It definitely does.
Okay. Now a bit of a nuanced question I would like to bring here, Billy, for you is some some people would say the world doesn't need another artisanal food brand, or that bacon is already overexposed. So uh, how would you respond to that?
Well, my simple and quick response would be no, that is not right. The world definitely needs more bacon. What the world needs is bacon that's made properly and it's made the way our ancestors made it and is not made in a hurry or a rush. So it it yes, there's plenty of room for my brand. It doesn't fall in the inexpensive buffet bacons. It doesn't fall in the, hey, let's go get the cheapest bacon we can get. It's more of a
Mhm.
celebratory bacon. And an achievement kind of bacon of, hey, let's celebrate something. Let's get Billy's or hey, we're about to make an incredible recipe. Let's use the best of everything. Um, yeah, there's plenty of room in the bacon world for Billy. I believe that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it would be like a landmark. Like let's go to explore the South and let's go explore Billy's Bacon.
Oh, I would love for you to come visit anytime. I would greet you and I would give you a tour of the restaurant, outdoor courtyard, and the music stage where the bacon gets serenaded. I would buy you lunch at one of our tables, and of course, you'd have to get pork belly bites, a bacon cheeseburger, and possibly even a salted caramel brownie with pork belly.
Mm, superb, superb. So, Billy, of course, before we conclude this flavorful conversation, if our listeners they would like to get a taste of Billy's bacon, and explore just beyond the bacon, what's happening in the backstage, and they would like to connect with you also, what would be the best way?
Well, I'm very easy to reach. My email is BILLE at BILLES bacon.com. And they can find me on every social media channel out there. I am not, I mean, I am on every single one of them. My YouTube channel, Billy's Bacon Burgers and Bikes, is a great way to connect with me because you can see my love for bacon, my love for burgers, my love for motorcycles. I actually have a Triumph Scrambler 400X that was made by Bajaj in India, and I'm very
Wow.
proud of it. And I love to watch the videos of all the different Indian riders and how much they adore the Triumph brand. And I relate the quality of that bike to the quality of my bacon and my hamburgers.
Wow, super, super, Billy. The world is really small and round.
It is. It is.
Oh, so
I
I'll
ho
make sure. Uh-huh.
I hope to journey over there one day and travel, on a motorcycle because I think that's the proper way to travel, in a foreign land and to tell the stories of my brand and meet more people like you and just share the passion for food.
Totally, totally. And exploring different cultures and different locations, India, it would be like a food gasm for you.
It would be wonderful, and it's gonna happen. It's like on my life list, and I know it'll happen.
Super, super. Thank you so, so much, Billy, for bringing in not only the love of bacon, but love of doing something well, no matter how long it takes. And I think from a business perspective, it's definitely a reminder that the best brands, how much local they would be, they aren't built in a rush. They are seasoned slowly with intention, love, heart, and a dash of courage as well to ignore the noise. So, thank you so much, Billy.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed this call.
So, to all the listeners out there, especially all the entrepreneurs, whether you are in food, tech, art, or any other industry, Billy's journey, it proves that your think can become the thing if you are willing to obsess over it just enough to make it unforgettable. So don't forget to check out Billy's Bacon. I'll have all the links mentioned in the show notes. And until then, keep listening to BizBlend. I'm your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.